I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Man Listen Show. Go to the link in our bio on our Instagram. You can get some merchandise. I know it's starting to get warm. We got t-shirts and everything else that you can buy. Help support the show. And make sure you tell everybody about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Marv B. Let's bring the crew in. Shout out to C. Yeah, so listen, Biden, as of this recording, Biden has secured the nomination, which is really no shock to anybody. And now that Nimrata, what's her name? Nimrata? Nikki Haley.
Nikki, man.
I'm gonna call Nimrata. Now that Nimrata is out of the race, it looks like Trump doesn't have anybody that's going to stop him from making it to the nomination as well, unless the courts do so, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Shout out to Clarence Thomas. But you know, it's the same race that we had 4 years ago. Two old ass dudes. I've seen Biden. I didn't get a chance to see the State of the Union. I was out of the country. I see him do some interviews. He's looking a little bit more lucid, in my opinion. Do y'all agree or disagree?
He looked better to me. It looked like he glitched there for a second, but I mean, I don't public speak all the time, so I know what it's like to, especially be trying to read words that you didn't write. It can't be that easy because I know he didn't write that speech, but it was a good speech though.
Yeah, very, very good speech. And he does seem kind of enthused. Like, I think a lot of politicians, that's what they thrive on, is running a campaign. It's not necessarily doing the work of governing, but they more so thrive on the actual, I guess to them it's competitive, you know, the competition aspect of actually running.
Do you think that there'll be a significant number of Black people who will actually vote for Trump? I'll go ahead and just say this. I don't think so, but I think it may be more than what it had been when he ran against Hillary and when he ran against Biden. I think the danger for the Democrats is not really Black people voting for Trump. Well, number one, it's white folks voting for Trump. And the second danger is Black people being unenthused and saying it don't matter anyway and just sitting down. Do you think that, so just answer the first question, do you think that there's going to be an increased number of Black people voting for Trump?
I do. I think there's something to be said about people feeling like they can relate to him because he's not a politician, because he just says dumb stuff. And even though it doesn't make any sense to me when people make that argument, I've heard quite a few people say that he just seems more like a person than a politician. And so I don't necessarily think they think about the impact that they're having by voting for him. I think they're thinking that they don't like politicians. They would prefer a businessman to a politician. Or some of the things that he did or didn't do that sticks out to them that makes more of a difference to them than the overall impact, like not being in wars in Africa and things like that, you know, whatever. And then a lot of people are a lot upset about what's going on in Gaza. So I think that's going to impact it a lot too.
Yeah, I mean, like Trump said, the Black people got his mug shot on t-shirts. So, you know, I in all seriousness, so I think there might be more. I don't think it'll be a significant difference. I still think it'll be 85% of black men that vote for Biden, and 90% of black women that vote for Biden. So, like you said, to your point, Marv, that's not the issue when it comes to electability. It's about the white people voting for Trump over and over again. You know, a lot of them are now, because it makes sense and it's popular to be like, oh, Trump is he's out of his mind. He's crazy. But come November, when they go into that ballot box, we know what they're gonna punch.
Especially white women.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But I think that you're right about people sitting down too, because I think that a lot of people are just like, well, I don't like either one of them, so I'm not voting. Because people do that all the time. Or people be like, well, I don't know who to vote for. Be like, so you don't want to do any type of research or figure it out? You don't want to look into the candidate? You know, you got some time.
Right.
I mean, I think that for a lot of people, for black people, they're disgruntled because it's a hostage vote. Like, a lot of people don't like Biden. And the reality is this: we talked about on the last show, and I kind of did some research. I went to like the White House .gov website, you know, because they try to promote the narrative, right? They put it out there, everything that they've done, and they've done some stuff that really has impacted Black Americans, Black farmers. You know, you're talking about judges that he put on the bench, especially when it comes to Black women. You know, Rick, I know you can appreciate that. Just a lot of things that have impacted us in terms of like insulin. You know how many of us are diabetic. You know, we know people who are diabetic. So I don't believe in any stretch of imagination that anybody with any sense that's informed, even in the least amount, even in the least, can say that Trump is better for the Black community than Biden. They just have to find a better way to control the narrative. And that's the issue. And you would think that with the first Black woman vice president, that it would be easy. But for whatever reason, she is so problematic and she can't get past, her issues as a candidate. You know, she's a sharp woman, highly intelligent. I think that she's capable, but she's proven to be unlikable. And that's a problem. And it's a problem because too many in the Black community don't like her.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was because she was locking up Black mamas because the kids wasn't going to school back in the Bay or whatever, all that old shit. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Or go ahead, I'm gonna tell you my other theory.
Oh, I already know, but I will say this: after looking at how Kamala has been received, and then your girl Nemi, how she was received in the Republican primary, it takes me back to 2016, and 100% without a doubt in my mind that's it's the woman thing too. It factors in a lot.
Yeah,
and we talk about me personally, I don't know, it was just something about I wasn't feeling Hillary. I don't know what it was. I just wasn't feeling her. And
I mean, she's problematic, going back to Haiti, the America, all the different controversies. But she's way more qualified than Trump.
Exactly. And I think, you hit the nail on the head about Kamala. It's a lot of people in our community who publicly speak down on her and even half-heartedly, jokingly. Sometimes they're not necessarily joking, but we are doing the bidding of the opposite party ourselves sometimes.
Hi, I'm Marika Moore, and if you want to get all up in my business, you should check out my new book, Unsolicited Marriage Advice, where I provide an analysis of the best marriage advice that I've received over the past 16 years or so. So head on over to Amazon and buy it now.
Yeah.
What's your other point about her she's gonna make?
Well, shit, she got that white man in the bed.
Told you.
I mean, for real. I mean, hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you something. He was Barry was a half African, half white dude whose grandparents was some racist white folks from Kansas who learned to love Black people because they had a Black grandson, and he grew up in Hawaii. And he was able to mimic and parrot the Black soul. He was able to be hip and cool, and he got all of that from Michelle Obama.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm gonna let you know right now, and I'll stand on this, till the end. He would not have been president were it not for Michelle Obama. Had he had a white woman on his arm, he wouldn't have made it past Iowa. Black folks wouldn't have voted for him.
No. Yeah.
They wouldn't.
For sure.
They voted because they wanted to see a strong Black family in the office. Again, he's highly intelligent, highly capable. But you really think about it, Barack don't really resonate with us like, some other people do. It's because he's not ADOS. Now, do I think that he doesn't have, somewhat of the Black community's best interest in mind? I'm not saying that, but he definitely could have did more. He did let us down. It's a damn shame that Biden has put more Black women on the bench. It's a damn shame that Biden was the first president to nominate a Black woman for the Supreme Court, and we had Obama. I don't know what to say about that.
We've been saying it. He failed us. But that's the problem, I think, is that people got so excited about Barack, and then they was like, well, you can't really do nothing your first term because you want to get elected the second term. He really gonna show out that second term.
And I was one of those people. Hey, look, I campaigned, I donated, I did everything, dog, for that dude. Because I was like, that second term, he fitting to show out. And this motherfucker nominated Merrick Garland for the Supreme. Man, come on.
But also though, we got to be sensitive. We got to understand the situation that affects us, that doesn't affect other people. And that when you're the first, you are directly responsible for those who come behind you. So for whatever reason, they hold you to a different standard for the entire people that the other politicians aren't held to. So because Trump does this, the next go around, there's another Trump. They're not going to say, well, you remember Trump did this, so we're going to hold everybody accountable that looks like him. No, they're not going to do that. So Barry comes into play, and that's what he has to deal with. Now, if he acts like we wanted him to act, Kamala's not where she's at right now. Ketanji Brown Jack, she's not on the bench probably. I mean, seriously, there's different things that go into it. I think, and I think that he was just playing the long game, and he had to.
No, he didn't. If he'd have gave us our reparations, we'd be on right now.
If you can't buy an executive order, give people student loan forgiveness, there's no way you could do reparations.
Right. But here's my thing though, and we found out because you remember when Trump beat Hillary, what was everybody trying to do? They were trying to blame the Black man. Black man let us down. Black men let us down, and it was those Black feminists. I can't stand Black feminists. I love women. I mean, it's true. I'm saying I ride hard for sisters, but I can't stand Black feminists because I know that they plants. They create division in the community. And they said, well, Black men let us down because they voted for Trump. And then finally somebody had some common sense and put some logic to it. And they said, damn, if 100% of every single Black person voted for Hillary, they still wouldn't have outvoted all these white folks that voted for Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
You still wouldn't have.
And that speaks to, again, he never has won the popular vote. So it goes back to
when's the last Republican president that has won the popular vote?
Bush.
He didn't win against Gore?
No, but the other time, who you run Kerry against? Maybe it was against Kerry.
Talking about Bush the daddy?
No, but the Bush, W.
I don't think W ever won the popular vote.
He had to. He won 2 terms. The only one that was in question was against Gore. The second term,
he lost the popular vote to Gore.
Yeah, he lost that.
Okay,
but that's literally the only one they've won since what, 88?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's how you know the electoral college is trash.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think another thing too is that a lot of Black people will abstain and not vote because realistically their vote doesn't matter because we are in such high concentrated areas to where if I don't vote, you know what? My district is still going to be blue. Regardless, if I vote, if you vote, if my whole family, but my whole block doesn't vote, it's still going to be blue. And so I think that's where a lot of people justify not voting.
Yep. And you know, that's by design.
Yep.
That's by design, you know. So
Straight out from- in certain places.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I still think that even though it's like that, I try to remind people that you're not just voting for president when you vote. I
Yeah.
mean, that's important, but you're voting for everybody. So you can't get mad when things start going wrong in your state, but you didn't vote for governor, or you didn't vote for prosecutor, or you didn't vote for the judges, and you didn't vote for representatives. All of these people matter, not just the president. That matters, but all of these other people matter too. And you see Republicans make sure that they try to make sure all of their representatives and senators and stuff get reelected, because they like, we don't care who make it in the president.
Right.
We want to control the House.
yeah. And I mean, and like I said, I talked about it 1,000 times. That's where I think the Democrats fail in their strategy. And they allow the Republicans to get that foothold. And that's why we have, you know, the Satan is just more blatant with it in Florida. He's belligerent with what he's trying to do, but there's other states that are doing the exact same thing in terms of trying to um, do away with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's going to impact us in a major, major way. I mean, what do y'all think about the NAACP because of, you know, the different policies that Florida's putting forward? What do you think about the NAACP suggesting that Black football players in Florida leave Florida schools to go somewhere else? Do you think that's a fair ask to put on young college students?
I read somewhere they said leave the schools and go to PWIs. Now that would be problematic, but I mean, I don't know the kids, everybody can afford to leave Florida. I wish all of us would just get up and leave Florida and leave all the crazies there by themselves, but no, I think it's a lot to ask of anybody, especially if you work to get into a school and
Well,
now it's
I thought the ask was just of the athletes, just of the football players, the football and basketball players. Like, hey, listen, because you know they can't transfer with the portal and everything. I believe that the ask was, hey, listen, you Black players, y'all go ahead and bounce to show, hey, listen, if you don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion, if you don't want Black history told in the schools, and you can't mention Blackness without being cited for doing something that's illegal, then you don't need to benefit from our athleticism and the entertainment and the recruitment that it brings to your universities. I think that's what the ask is.
mm,
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? But logistically, there's not enough spots. There's a hard cap on the number of scholarships that each school has available. So if you just take all the Black kids from the Florida schools, they don't all have landing spots. And so there are going to be certain people that aren't able to do that. So in turn, what do you do? Do you say it's okay for certain people to come? I mean, I don't know. It's just hard, but it makes sense. Maybe they're talking about the top level players. Maybe that's more impactful if a few top level players did it.
it's
I,
crazy.
I
Yeah,
feel I feel the strategy. I understand, and I wish that we could carry it out. But how do you say, okay, you know, say all the top players did leave, right? So then you got second and third players, next man up.
Yep.
You got kids who are at D2, NAIA or whatever, where there's a hole, and they can say, well, I could finally play D1, and they go in and they Black. You know, what is that? What is that?
Right.
What does that do to them? So, it's a novel idea. I just think that the practicality behind it isn't doesn't make it feasible.
And how
Yeah.
can you put more faith in athletes than in the voting system?
Right. You know, it's some, you know, college athletics is something else. I'd say, especially college football. We talked about it before. I there's this is just Florida right now, but for years I couldn't understand, and I love Alabama Crimson Tide. You know, I just couldn't understand why kids would still want to go like the Alabama in the 60s and 70s and Ole Miss and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you know, there's different people have different things that they're looking for when they go to school. So
And different mindsets, because it's some
yeah.
stuff I put up with. I know the limitations on my anger. So
But y'all know the same. All three of us went to Mizzou. And the same thing could be said about all of us.
For sure.
Why did you go? And I know why we all went. Shit,
Yeah,
Mizzou gave us the money.
exactly.
They needed to course correct. They said, wait a minute, we didn't got too damn racist. So let's bring some of these darkies up in here, right? And now,
and you too. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and now darky number one.
Well, now we do a colorism.
I'm embracing my blackness.
Nah.
So yeah, but now it's total opposite.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think the problem that not even I think the problem that I've always had with many people in the Black community is our inability to look at the bigger picture and how small things that we let slide now will eventually bite us in the ass in the future. You know, people wanted to say Hillary was a horrible candidate and they couldn't hold their nose and vote for her. And then what happened? Trump came in and he got in 3 Supreme Court candidates. And we see how that's impacted us. You know, we talk about women's reproductive rights. You talk about this Trump being able to run again. It's impacted us all, and I'm sure there's other things.
Affirmative action in college.
I'm sure there's other things that have taken place that, you know, because of that decision of Trump being able to get all those candidates onto the bench. And I heard Sotomayor's traveling with a medic. Listen, do not let listen. And Sotomayor been a writer, but if you sick, listen. Go ahead and do like they did the white man. What's his name? Stephen Barrett. Be like, hey, listen,
yeah.
Thank you for your service. We're gonna go ahead and sit you down and get
Oh,
Kataji. Yeah, we're gonna get her up in here, you know what I mean? But you think about it, all of us in Black Greek letter organizations, have you seen the numbers of Black Greek letter organizations in the state of Missouri? The numbers have dwindled. You know why? There's less students going.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon, you might say, you know, down in Florida, if they say, hey, listen, we don't want anything that just for Black people, then how does that affect the Black Greek letter organizations?
Right.
So everything that we've come up with, the traditions that we've had, it all could be impacted. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's low on the totem pole for a lot of people, but I'm just saying that's an example of how, by us not looking at the bigger picture, it can really come back to bite us. You know? So if you want to say, yeah, Biden's old as shit, so was Trump.
Right.
So was Trump. I think Biden's probably older, but at least Trump got in the office and he put what's that white boy that fat tub of lard. Let me talk. I'm fat too, but that he did like a big old bottle of jar of disease mayonnaise. What's that dude? Steve Bannon.
Oh, Steve Bannon. Okay.
And that other little nerdy dude. They came in. His name was Steven too. I can't remember his last name, but
Miller. Miller.
Steve Miller. They came in and they was coming up with different policies or whatever. Hey, listen, they was coming at us tough. You could tell Biden got some people in there that's like, listen, man, we got to do something for the Black folks. Let's get more money to the HBCUs. Biden gave more money to HBCUs than Obama.
Yeah, and at least if he died in office, we got Kamala.
I
mean, who knows? Maybe she'll go crazy in office. Maybe she'll flip the script.
Listen. I feel you, but for a lot of people, that's not a strong case.
yeah.
I feel you, but for a lot of people, that's not a strong case. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She part Emirata too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's going to be an interesting race. I really hope that, you know, the Black community makes wise decisions, and I really hope that the Democrats are able to present a narrative that, you know, can make the case for people, because I really can't say that people are wrong by saying I don't really give a damn no more. I can't say that they're wrong.
Right.
They are, but you know, it's hard to convince them. I mean, again, I just said it. If you can't look at the bigger picture, hey man, it's a problem.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I think that if you can't look at the aftermath of what's happened in light of the Trump administration and foresee how that could get exponentially worse, then you just definitely, I don't know how else to say it besides you can't see the bigger picture. And you also are one of those white women voting against your own interests at this point.
Yeah, and if he were to win, he's gonna have, just by the down ballot candidates, he's probably gonna have the House and the Senate. I don't know, but he's gonna be unchecked this time around, and it's
unfettered abuse of power.
It's gonna be,
He ain't gonna be like Barack.
No, not at all. He
Like,
won't.
Trump knew how to wield power. He's like, shit, I'm gonna run it up because I might not be back.
Yeah, run it up.
He run again. Like this would be like he runs, like he gets elected again. That's like this is last 4, right?
Yeah, you can only do 2
as of now. But
right. Before you get in there changing shit.
Exactly.
Talk about some executive order.
Man,
I can be president. I'm czar now.
Right. Because he has the ultimate reason to get elected. As long as he's in office, he's not going to. He ain't in jail. Right. So he really has skin in the game.
He's throwing all his money at it.
Damn. Because they can't lock up a sitting president.
No, they're not going to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't even think you can prosecute a sitting president.
I mean, I would think if like, I don't know. I remember he said this talking about if I went and shot somebody in broad daylight on Central Avenue. I mean, I'm sure they could, but yeah.
But it has to be like treason and high crimes. It has to be in those that run. So they would have to stick with
he did some treasonous shit, and they still letting him run.
But they would have to stick with the insurrection. So if for now he's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah. Wait, well, who was the dude that was his attorney? He had that attorney, then Trump flipped on him, and dude, damn, I can't remember his name. He didn't have so many people that went to.
I know he had a bunch of attorneys and
but this was the guy that was doing all kind of interviews and stuff, and he got
Cohen,
Michael Cohen, I think that's it. Mm-hmm. And remember, they say it was Michael Cohen, and then they named the anonymous, co-defendant or whatever, and basically everybody was like, "That's Trump."
Mm-hmm.
That's Trump, you know what I'm saying? But he was still the sitting president, so they was like, "Yeah, we know who it is, wink, wink, but we can't do nothing because he's
yeah."
So, but is that in the Constitution, or is that just like, hey, yo, we can't, as a global power, we can't have our president up in Rikers.
Yeah, he can't be running the country from jail. But I think it's less as high crimes and treason. So high crimes would be murder.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Espionage. I don't know. It seems to me he's got a few of those that we can throw in Russia, throw in the insurrection. But I merely interpret the law. So I don't know.
It's clear that Trump, in my personal opinion, is bought and paid for by Putin.
Man.
Yeah. Not just he
I was gonna say
not just him. You could have just stopped at bought and paid for. Whoever's paying, whoever's footing the bill. Yeah, I'm taking your issues to the, you know what I mean? Like he's going on behalf of them people. So,
but that's the problem with most of them politicians is that they all owe favors for whatever reasons. They too old. They've been in there too long. They need to get out.
Most of them owe favors domestically. It's different when you got a foreign.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Foreign dictator.
Some of the people been in there long enough to have some foreign relations.
You're right about that. Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Before we start, go ahead.
They sitting in on those meetings too, especially his advisors and stuff.
But before we go, ain't it a shame that the person they said who had the biggest opportunity to actually do something to lock Trump up messed it up over some D? Your girl Fannie Willis, man. That's gorilla grip.
Gorilla grip.
Somebody said that was like fabricated, like somebody.
Man, to see him
I'm gonna say
it,
it's funny as shit. They said gorilla grip, but somebody said that it was like that wasn't real. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I said that can't be real, man.
Too many people just be sitting around with too much time on their hands.
The AI, man. It's the AI.
Yeah.
Hey, but it said gorilla grip. But yeah, I think.
I thought the disciplinary council ruled that they didn't have jurisdiction. So they not voting on whether or not she was improper.
Yeah, she good,
So
but
she in
it,
the, she, in the,
She
she
good
got
now.
the
Well, it's
it
funny
looks
how
bad though. It
it's
looks
funny
bad.
how like the proceedings and Gorilla Grip, what I'm saying, they got all kind of press, but that her being like, nah, you good. That didn't get out there. So.
Right.
Nobody cares about that part. They care about you know what I mean, the sensationalized
Yeah.
story, but not the truth of whether or not she
Hey, her
was
her
impartial.
DMs is blowing up though, I'm sure.
Blowing up.
I was like, man, you get through with all this other stuff. Let me take you to dinner.
Right. Hey, listen, everybody was mad at her because she was trying to prosecute Young Thug, what I'm saying? Now they're like, well, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe he deserved to go to jail.
She got that grip.
She made Let me stay on her good side.
So,
Yeah.
well, we're gonna keep an eye on it, man. Obviously, it's going to be a long election season. We'll have to see how everything is going. I just really hope that people hold. We still need to hold. Let me say this. I've been pretty outspoken by saying that we really only got one viable candidate. I think that's irresponsible for me to do that and not say we still need to hold the Democrats accountable for things that we want and we need for our community. So even though Trump is an awful candidate, that doesn't mean that we pull our foot off the gas and say, hey, Democrats, you just got our vote because, we don't want Trump back in because what he's going to do to us. So we still need to be able to say, hey, listen, this is what we need. This is improvements that we must have in our community for you all to continue to get our vote. So I just want to make sure I put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With that being said, out there, we talked about it enough. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Man Listen Show. Go to our Instagram, click that link on the bio, get you some merch, man. Help us out with the show, And that being said, we'll house you next time. Peace.